What you've got to love about Montana is that there's no buffer zone between us and the land. It's just, I've got the mountains and we've got the space, and it's something that gets into you and it doesn't leave. I'm the 5th generation of my family's ranch. My family homesteaded before Montana was officially a state. And you know, we've been here for a long time now, 131 years, but it's never been something we feel like we possess or we have the right to do whatever we want with. There's always been a real responsibility that comes with stewarding something that lots of people depend on for their health. So for the last 5 years or so, we have been working on kind of a separate enterprise within our family's ranch where we're finishing cattle just on grass on the ranch, and then we also sell burger to local restaurants and schools. Not only do they purchase our beef, but they'll come out here, tour the ranch and see what we do here, learn a little bit about beef production. And that's been a great learning experience both for us and the students as well.
Raise your hand if you know what a rancher is. Mackenzie, what's a rancher?
I'm Camille McGovin. I serve in Boulder, Montana. And I came into FoodCorps because I really wanted to focus on kids and work with kids in the garden and teaching them life skills like cooking and eating healthy foods. One thing I found to be super impactful for establishing a connection between students and where their food comes from is by bringing a rancher into the classroom. Sometimes they get to bring something like a horse, and kids get super excited about getting to pet the horse, and afterwards it can really solidify the connection by serving local beef at the school lunch. Kids get to see the producer and then they get to see it on their tray.
I'm Jenny Montague. I'm the Food Service Director for Kalispell Public Schools. I realized what a huge financial impact using local foods in the schools could have on a local economy and in the food system in general if we were to go this direction with Farm to School. Serving meals to kids is this amazing opportunity to have a really tangible impact on their health. What we raise here in Montana is a lot of grain and a lot of cattle. So obviously those were my 2 big priorities. A lot of the cattle that we use in our burgers actually comes from the parents of some of our students.
I'm a parent of 2 Missoula County Public School kids. My husband comes from a big farming and ranching background, and we believe it's important to give our kids the healthiest choices possible.
A lot of people don't even think of where their meal's actually coming from, especially the meat end of it. I am 4th generation in this business, Lower Valley Meat Processing in Kalispell, Montana. Most of the work here is all local livestock that comes in, and it is a giant pride thing for all of us here to be able to know that the product that goes to the schools is something that we see standing down the road every day. They're nice, happy cows standing out in the field feeding, and then it gives us the opportunity to pick them up and deal with them humanely. We bring them here and they're processed right away. The product is never frozen and it's delivered fresh to the schools that day, and usually cooked to that day and served to the kids. Everyone knows where it came from, and it's born and raised in the Flathead Valley, and all the money, throughout the whole process, which is a pretty big process, all that stays in the Flathead Valley and changes hands locally.
We've been able to spend $35,000 locally that would have gone to a national distributor. Serving local beef and the success that we've had with students and with my staff and the ease of transition has been so inspiring to me to realize that eventually maybe we can change the way a food system works and improve the quality of food that students are receiving at school. FoodCorps was absolutely instrumental in helping us create the system. Having the time to spend, half a day at the local beef processing center, figuring out the logistics with them of delivery, helping us put together our food safety plan, asking the pertinent questions that I have for these processors and these ranchers.
One of the things that most excites me about next year is that we've created such a great network all across the state of people who are interested in all different aspects of the campaign. The educational side, the actual logistics of getting beef into the cafeteria, and even working closer with ranchers to make sure that they actually get like a living wage for the products that they produce.
Growing up in Helmville, the community's very small and the community is very tight-knit. It's really important that a student, as they grow up, to have a deep sense that their own health depends on the health of our rural areas. Good food and responsibly produced food is very important. We need to prioritize that. We need to prioritize it with our checkbooks. We need to prioritize it with our policies. We need to put our money where our mouth is. And where else to do that but in our schools? In order to get to a place where schools are able to prioritize the sources of their food, it's really going to take collaboration from producers, from processors, from distributors, from food service directors at the schools. And it's really people like FoodCorps who are able to facilitate those relationships and connect the dots.